Hello horse friends, and welcome to the Imperfect Equestrian. Today I thought we'd have a quick look at a little task that makes my life a little bit easier. So what we're going to look at today is how I can get JJ to be in a better position for me to mount when I'm on a mounting block. So in other words, if I walk up to the mounting block and she happens to be facing towards me or something, instead of me having to get down and walk around again to get to the right position when she might move when I get back on the mounting block, then I want to have a way of getting her to move her body into the right position for me to mount. So we're going to look at how do we teach that today.
You look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you.
So one of the first exercises that I do with JJ to make sure that she understands how to move away and towards me is to understand pressure on her body. So I would start with a steady contact, perhaps with my hand or my stick, to ask her to move her hips away from me. So I'm just going to give her a stroke and then slowly apply pressure. Good girl. So I take just a single step to start with, that's fine, and I'll slowly ask for a little more each time. Let's try again. There we are. Now, even though I eventually wanted to walk towards me, I didn't release when she moved towards me then, because I wanted to understand to move away from the pressure. We'll try it from the other side. It's important that she can do it both sides. Rub this side, and gently apply pressure. Good girl. Very good girl. A little bit easier for her that way. Let's try again. Good girl. So we can see from that she's understanding to move away from the steady pressure I apply to her quite well. Next, I want her to understand more of a driving pressure. So if I tap her with the stick, then does she understand to move away from that? So we're going to try that on both sides as well. Just the same as with the hand, I'll rub her first so she's not afraid of it and check. I might get her attention a little and then start tapping. JJ. Just a gentle tap, and as soon as she moves away, that's great, we'll stop. Let's try that again. Rub again, gentle tap, and she moves away. Wonderful. We'll try it on the other side. It's always really important to do both sides, even if you actually only mount from one side. So this side, I'll go tap, 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 tap. And she moves away. How lovely. Good girl, you're really clever, good girl. So that's the easier part. We just break that down. If she hadn't understood to move away from the tapping, I might have got a little bit stronger, but I would certainly stop as soon as she moved a little bit, so she understood that me stopping meant she did the correct thing. Now, to help her move towards me is a bit more complicated, because what I need to do is tap the opposite hip to get her to come towards me. So sometimes she'll get confused with this to start with, and she might move away from me because my body's putting pressure on this side. If she does that, I just try and keep a gentle tap until she tries to do something else. It may not be moved towards me straight away, but when she's tried something different from moving away from it, my body, then I'll stop and tell her that that was either the correct answer or nearly the correct answer. Once she gets the idea that it's not to do with moving away, she'll start to put more effort in coming towards me. Now, she may understand this straight away because we have done this once or twice before. So we'll see. She might not. It's been a while. We'll see how she goes. If they do find it quite difficult to understand, it can be very helpful to go against a fence line so that they're limited how far away from you they can go. They can only go about 180 degrees away from you then. And then they have to question more. She's still tapping. What does she want? So that can really help her understand that it's something different to what she was doing. We'll see how she does out in the open first though. When I go to tap the opposite hip, it's important that I give a really clear signal. It could be a vocal cue, or it could be to bring up your hand high in the air first before coming over, or have a nice swing over. And it's because eventually we don't want to be tapping her hip to get her to come towards us. We just want to give a cue. So I might say, come here, or I might put a nice swing in, and that might mean that when I hold it up or swing over, that means come towards me instead. She probably won't know that today, but we'll be heading towards that hopefully. So I rub her from the opposite side, and then my signal is a big swing over. So I big swing over and go tap, tap, tap on the opposite hip. Don't worry if she's not reacting yet. We'll just keep up until she decides to try something. Now, if she's finding it very hard like this, what I might do is just help her by tilting her nose a little bit the opposite way. There we are. She did something. It wasn't exactly what I wanted, but it was something. So she understands I'm asking something now. Let's get her back again, and I'll try again. Good girl. So I do a big swing over and tap the opposite hip. Now, if she goes to move forward, I need to stop that motion. Try again, swing over, tap the opposite hip. There, did you see her body rock towards me then? That was nearly the right answer. So I just stopped straight away because she was heading in the right direction then. And again, swing over, tap, tap, tap. Stop her going forwards. Don't let her crowd me either. That's it, well done. Good girl. So even though she did push into my space a bit then with the front end, you could see the back end started to get the right idea. Now this time, I'll try and give myself a bit more space away from her. Reach over, tap, tap, tap. Stop her going forward. Keep tapping. Good girl. And there was a single step. I know she moved forward as well, but there was a single step. Good girl. This time I'm going to give her a treat because JJ is actually very food motivated. So I'll see if that helps her have more effort in the learning. Rubber. Big swing over. Tap, tap, tap. Nearly. Big swing over. Tap, tap, tap. Very good. That was definitely more towards us this time. We'll try again. Oh, she's getting the idea too much now. Ready? Big swing. Tap, tap, tap. That's it. Very good. So a little bit of food motivation really helped JJ there. Each horse is an individual. Some horses, it won't help at all. Some will prefer a scratch or a rest in between. So just take your horse as an individual and whatever they prefer best as a reward. I'm going to try it from the opposite side now. Now remember that horses think differently from both sides of their body. So doing it this way around, just because she did it the other side, does not automatically mean that she'll understand what I'm saying. So we may have to go through the same process again, or it might be quicker. We'll see. So my signal, a big swing, tap, tap, tap. Now that time she took her attention to the other side and she moved slightly towards me. So I stopped straight away there. The thought process was there for what I wanted, so I was very pleased. And again, try big swing, tap, tap, tap. Good girl. Keep going with her. There we are. The idea was there. She turned that way. It might have been not quite right, but the idea was there. Try again. Big swing, tap, tap, tap. I don't want the front end. There we are, there's the bum, good girl. So she's only doing this one step at a time at the moment, but it's the start of the process. Like I said, she has done it before, but it's been quite a long time. I don't get on her by pulling her to the mounting block all the time. I often just get on in the middle of the yard. So she's got it a little bit. I'm going to try and get on the mounting block and see if adding a prop actually helps her understand a bit more. If whilst I'm on the mounting block, she goes a little bit too far away from me to tap her hip, this is why I have the string on the end, because I can bring that into play by gently throwing it over to tap the hip on the other side instead. So we'll see how it goes. So we've put her in a position here where she's in an unideal place for mounting. So we need to use the technique to try and get her nearer. Granted, my mounted block is a bit high, but never mind. And the advantage to being here is that she cannot walk forward because the fence is here. So that's taken one option out of her repertoire. She can come forward a little bit, but not a lot. So I'm going to lift up the stick high and over and point towards the hip. If I can, I'll tap the hip. So she's a little confused, she'll go away. I'll keep going, she's scratching. Good. Get her attention back. I'll keep tapping until she does something I like. Oh, nearly. Good girl. Keep going, keep going. Oh, yes. So we're still not in the right position, but it was getting there. So try again. Tap, tap, tap. Very quickly, she's getting the idea. Give her a little sweet. Good girl. Up and over to the opposite hip. Tap, tap, tap. Little confusion again. And then back the right way. Give her a rub. Good girl. And go again. Tap, tap, tap. Perfect. Now she's walking back a bit for a treat, which is a bit of a bad habit, but that's something I can correct after. I'm not too worried about that right now. She's basically in a really good position now that if I wanted to hop on or onto the saddle, if it was on, then I'm now in a really good position. So while she's here, I'm going to give her a good stroke everywhere to really make this a really nice, friendly place for her to be, and that she's really happy to stand here at the mounting block with me. Now, a couple of warnings about this technique is when your horse learns it, they feel really clever. Because it takes them a little bit to figure it out. It makes them feel really smart for knowing it. So all of a sudden, it can become the number one trick for them to show you that they can do. So you don't want to overdo it. So sometimes it's a really good thing to only use it in a specific time, like at the mounting block. If you overdo it on the floor and it becomes their number one trick, all of a sudden you're walking along and you're constantly having a bum turn to your face all the time. And it's not because they want to kick you, it's because they're showing you how clever they are, that they now know this trick about bringing their hips towards you. So I really recommend that until you've got a good even balance with how you can move your horse away from you and towards you, that you would only use this in a specific situation like mounting. I think you're really clever, JJ. Well done. I shall jump down now. I don't need to get on today. So I've picked JJ to do this task because she doesn't know it quite as well as Comanche. Comanche's been doing this for a long time, and all I need to do with him now is kind of lift up the stick and he comes straight towards me very quickly. I'm very pleased and impressed with how she did today. I'm sure if I actually do it more often, she'll get a lot quicker and a lot better at it. And often you'll find that when they do understand and connect the mounting block to the position you want them in, you stop needing to give the signal at all, and you can just walk to the mounting block and they will follow you. And we call it sidle up, and they will sidle up to the mounting block for you. Well, I hope I've managed to be a little bit informative today and give you an idea of something to try with your own horse. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to join us on more of our adventures and what we're learning all the time. From JJ and I, we'll see you again next time. Bye.